Hey there, I'm tridenttail, and this is going to be a Diddy Kong Racing 100% demonstration. I'm going to try and play the game as fast as possible while giving you the ins and outs of just about every facet of the run. So let's get started. So Diddy Kong Racing 100% goes through the adventure mode, and in the adventure mode we have to collect all 47 gold balloons, we have to collect all 4 keys, we have to collect the TT amulet, the Whizpick amulet, and I believe that's it. Of course we have to defeat Whizpick in the Future Funland stage, and we're going to be doing all this in about an hour and 52 minutes. So there's a lot of cool mechanics in this game, and if you don't know, there are actually 3 playable vehicles, each with its own unique set of tech. So after this intro cutscene, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk to Taj and switch our vehicle to the plane, because there are 4 gold balloons in the overworld here. Alright, so we're going to turn around here and make our way to the first balloon, which is in the lake here. And then there's one hiding behind these trees. And then we're going to make our way back to the center of the overworld, collect the third one here, and the last one is on our way to Dino Domain, which is the first world that we'll be going to. And you'll be noticing that when I'm in the car, I'm going to be tapping the A button a bunch. And this is actually faster than just straight up holding the A button. As I go over these zippers, I want to let go of the accelerator because the pressing the A button here will actually throttle my speed, and I want to ride out this boost speed as long as I can. Now, one of the most important parts of this run is cutscene skips, and they occur at the end of each race, and they are a 1-frame trick. I essentially have to pause on the last frame of the race, like that. And what this does is this, the game will give me credit for finishing the race and it will give me the gold balloon, but I do not have to watch the cutscene of Taj giving me the balloon. There are 40 of these in the run, and I'm going to try and hit as many as I can. Now, in this track, we have our first key. There's one in each world, and you need to grab this key in order to access the mini-game in each world. Alright, so you're going to see me trying to chain boosts, whether they be like the zippers or the blue balloons. And this is a really good way of maintaining that boost speed. So we gotta watch this key cutscene. This we cannot skip. And now we're gonna head on to our third track. This is called Fossil Canyon, and this track has a pretty neat trick that we like to call Canyonless. And I'll point that out for you in just a second. Alright, so I'm going to do a tight series of drifts here to grab that balloon and hit that zipper, and then I can chain them so I can launch myself into the canyon. Now, ideally, I would pick up that blue balloon, but it can be finicky. Sometimes you just clip right through it. We'll try and get it here. Alright. So missed the balloon again, also got some wonky ground collision there. which is pretty par for the course in this track. There we go. And we got the cutscene skip. And now we're on to Tata Volcano, which is the first time we will see the plane in a race setting. And it'll also be the first out-of-bounds trick we see. So I'm going to collect a couple of bananas because they increase your top speed and acceleration. And then I'm going to boost and barrel roll underneath the lava floor here, and I can now fly out of bounds. Now there's two important checkpoints at each end of the track here that I need to hit. But as long as I do that, I will continue to tell the game that I am progressing through the track. Now I'm going to go back in bounds here on the last lap just to give myself a better shot at the cutscene skip. And that's it. So now we're moving on to our first boss, one of the most important bosses in the game, and that's Tricky the Triceratops. There was a cool glitch found here, I think in September of 2017 by Fash. A bit of a checkpoint manipulation glitch. I'll see if I can get it, and then I'll try to explain it. Okay, so we got the second try. We know that because the wrong way popped up. And then we are done. So essentially how that works is in the bottom corner there behind the starting line, there is a section of the track where two checkpoints are overlapped. Now when you drive through there and you leave that area with a certain checkpoint activated, the game will think you're going the wrong way, and it'll actually think that you're behind the finish line. And then as you progress through the race, it'll count down, the checkpoints will count down until it corresponds with the checkpoint that finishes the race. So now we're on to our first minigame. This is called Fire Mountain. And the object of this minigame is to collect 3 eggs and bring them back to your nest so that they can hatch. But in the meantime, the eggs take about 10 seconds to hatch, and CPUs can still steal your eggs. So we do have to play a little bit of defense here and hope that they do not steal our eggs. So we dropped off our 3rd egg. This guy is going to try and steal our 3rd egg, but we're just going to turn around, take aim, and fire our homing rocket so that he doesn't grab our egg. And that's it. So this cutscene we cannot skip. Presumably, if you got all the cutscene skips in the first 4 races.
You won first prize.
So yeah, gotta watch it. It's no big deal. So now we have to do the same 4 tracks again, but this time we have to grab the silver coins in addition to coming in first. So each track has 8 silver coins, and sometimes there's some pretty cool strats in how you would go about grabbing these coins. Sometimes you want to prioritize getting bananas on the first lap so that you can go faster. Sometimes you prioritize getting all the coins on the first lap so that you can just focus on racing. There's a bunch of different strats, and I'll try to point out some of the more interesting runs as we go through the run. we go, nice cutscene skip. So for Jungle Falls, it was kind of like a mix of bananas and balloons on the first lap, and then pick up the rest of the coins on the second lap. On this lap, we're actually going to get all the silver coins, or try to anyway. Alright, so we got all the coins, now we can just focus on racing. We got 10 bananas, which is the point at which your advantage from the bananas stops. The bananas only increase your top speed and acceleration once you get 10 bananas. Any more than that, then it has no effect. Alright, so this one is Fossil Canyon, and this one is actually quite difficult. There's some coins that are placed in not the best of positions if you want to try and go fast. So I'm going to try and get them fast, but if I don't get them by the third lap, then I'll have to slow down. And pick them up. Also, this coin coming up on the pond jump is pretty difficult, but we got it. That's a good one to get out of the way. You definitely don't want to leave that one to the third lap. Alright, we missed up Canyonless here, so this is actually a good opportunity to pick up that coin, and now we've collected all 8. So now let's try and nail this Canyonless. Alright, we got the balloon. And we got the skip. Alright, so now for Tata Volcano, what we're going to try to do is we're going to try and get all the coins on the last lap. Or on the first lap, rather. So that we can go out of bounds on the second lap and just finish it out like that. Since going out of bounds is obviously faster. You'll also notice that I'm barrel rolling, and this is faster than just straight up flying. When you barrel roll, you get a little bit of a speed boost. And if you continue to chain barrel rolls while letting go of the accelerator, you can just continue to build boost speed, and you can almost max out your speed if you look at the speedometer there. So, like I did in the first race, I'm gonna go back in bounds here to try and get the cousin skip. There we go. And now we're on to the second version of the tricky race, but the trick from earlier still applies here, so we have to try and get it. We got some really good luck on the first one. We got second try, which is pretty good. Typically, runs kind of die to this boss. You can get some really bad RNG, and with each attempt, it costs you about 9 seconds, so you can see how that adds up quite a bit. But hopefully, we get some good RNG here. Nice. We got second and first try, which is really good. Alright, so now that that's done, I'm going to reset the console. We are pretty much done with Dino for... there is still a trophy race. I forgot to mention those. We also have to collect 5 gold trophies. But we're not going to be doing the trophy race just yet. We're going to hold out a little bit. The sequence in which we finish these challenges can be a little confusing. It's going to seem jumbled and out of order, but it's going to make sense. Trust me. So here we have our first Taj challenge. There is one for each vehicle. And this one is obviously the most basic, the car. We're just going to drive in a circle. And at the end of this lap, we are going to finish on the Taj map because we need to talk to Taj and switch our vehicle again. So we're going to pick up the balloon and then honk the horn so we get his attention. Oops, there we go. And we're going to switch the plane and we're going to head to Snowflake Mountain. So the first track here is Frosty Village, and this one's one of my favorite tracks, although it is quite challenging. It also can be pretty difficult with the amount of lag there is in this track. This snow effect tends to really cause some serious lag. So it's one of the things that you have to deal with in this game. But first lap was pretty clean, low 24, not too bad. Okay, got really lucky there. Sometimes you can like clip into the ground right before going off the ledge. Nice jump there. Okay, that time we actually got screwed. It happened to us twice in the same race. That's pretty unlucky. Okay, that was really great right there. And this cutscene skip is one of the harder ones to get. Yeah. So we missed our first cutscene skip. And each cutscene skip you miss loses about 6 seconds. You also might have noticed that I'm restarting the race at the beginning of each track, and that's because typically the camera panning around the racers is longer than actually just like restarting the race, and then you can like skip that. But this one is the only exception. Well, actually, one of two exceptions, where we actually watch the whole camera panning. It's pretty quick. You also saw me get the second key there. Got absolutely destroyed by a snowball. That's pretty unfortunate. So that's going to unlock the minigame for this world, and you'll see that a little bit later. Ooh. Okay. Didn't grab any of those balloons, but we didn't get destroyed by the snowball. It's good. And we got the skip. Alright, so the next race coming up is called Everfrost Peak. It's a plain track, and there is currently no known out of bounds for this track, so you will see me do this entirely in bounds. If I do this correctly, I shouldn't have to press the A button at all after the first zipper, and I can just continue to chain boosts and zippers for the rest of the race. Okay, a little bit of a mistake there, but it's not too bad. Well, I wanted to hit that ground zipper, but no dice. Still not that bad, I didn't have to press A. And a clean lap 3, so not bad. So this race is Walrus Cove. And this is a pretty good track. There's some pretty neat strats towards the end. I'm gonna grab these bananas so I can go faster. So here is a little scary. We're gonna boost on this narrow path and hit the zipper. And just rocket towards the finish line. You kind of make like one wrong move, you can fall onto the ice, and you don't drive on the ice. You just bounce back towards the track. Okay, that was interesting. So obviously falling off this path here is pretty bad. Okay, we were able to steal that balloon, that's good. Okay, that was a much cleaner corner there. And we got the skip. So, out of 12 races, we've only missed one cutscene skip so far, which is pretty good considering they are a one-frame trick. And now this is the boss of Snowflake Mountain. It is Bluey the Walrus. And this is also the first time we're seeing the hovercraft, if I'm correct. Yes, this is the first time. So this track is pretty unique in that there's no laps. It's pretty much just a straight shot to the finish line, which is pretty cool. Kind of like a downhill jam. Oh, played a little too sharp here. I'm gonna try and chain these boosts and also bonk off the wall so that I can just float down and finish the race. And I reset the console again, and you might be wondering why I did that, because I did not finish everything in Snowflake Mountain. And you are correct, but like I said before, things are gonna start to get a little jumbled. And we're gonna come back later, and there's gonna be a much more opportunistic time to finish those challenges. All right. So now we are doing the second Taj race, this time in the hovercraft. And I didn't speak on the tech here, but you'll notice that in addition to pressing the A button, I am also snaking back and forth, left and right. And that's because turning in the hover car for some reason gives you more speed. So we constantly turn back and forth to get that boost in speed. And it's even more amplified by pressing A. Although it's a different kind of rhythm, it's a little tricky at first, but the more you practice, you get better at it. You'll also notice that I am holding up while I'm snaking, and that's because being in the air in the hovercraft is not typically good. So by holding up, I am actually muscling the hovercraft down to the ground so that I can limit the amount of time I spend in the air. Alright, I'm going to finish on the sand here. If you finish in the water, the balloon that Taj leaves behind, you can't pick up until it floats over the sand. So just finish on the sand and then you can immediately pick up that blue balloon. Or gold balloon, rather. Now we're going to head to the third world. This is Crescent Island. Sherbet Island, not Crescent Island. Alright, and this is the first track, Treasure Caves. A very inconsistent track that with a very inconsistent trick. Right here, we're gonna try and do a series of boost chains. Alright. Got it on the first lap. Let's see how the other two stack up. Well, we can't go for it this time because we missed the balloon. And we missed it third time, so pretty poor Treasure Caves, but to be honest, that's pretty typical for me. At least you got to see it once. Alright, at least we got the skip. Alright. Gearing up for some more hovercraft action with Pirate Lagoon. This track can be pretty tricky, but overall a fun track, I think. We did miss that balloon, which is kind of harsh. Okay, bit of a rough first lap. Alright. But shaping up to have a better second lap, that's for sure. Okay, 16-13 is much better. Okay, got the skip. It's good. Now this next track is called Crescent Island. And it also has the third key that we need to collect. And we are going to be collecting that on the second lap. Alright. Bit of a tight turn here. And a really tight turn at the end. There we go. So the second key is actually in the water here. We're going to drive into the water, pick up the key, and we're just going to rub against the wall here because for some reason this makes us go faster. Alright, so you'll notice that we often are lapping the CPUs, and don't think that because we often blow past the CPUs and we lap them, that they do not influence the run, because they do. They really like to get in your way, and they also can drop traps, which can totally ruin your run. Alright, so this is Whale Bay, and this is the other track where we don't reset or restart the race, because that cutscene is pretty quick. So we just watch it. Alright, gonna try and do a difficult boost chain here, and we missed the balloon. It's a very sharp turn. Let's try it again. We missed it again, but we do hold on to this balloon, so it's not as bad. Oh, grab that balloon, but it's okay. We got it on the last one, and we got the custom skip, so not bad. so now we are on to the first boss of this world, named Bubbler. And I think for a lot of casual players, this is one of the more difficult bosses. But knowing the tech and using TT, the fastest character in the game, it's pretty easy. So this race is one of the few instances where you'll see me actually stacking balloons. So if you continue to collect the balloon of the same color, you can basically power up that item. And typically we don't do this because the stacked balloons don't really increase the speed, it just increases the duration. But using 3 single balloons is often faster than stacking it into one boost. The reason why we do that here is because re-grabbing the A button in the hovercraft after boosting can be kind of tricky. So instead of trying to hit that sweet spot 3 times in one lap, we just use one long boost so that you only have to hit the sweet spot once. Alright. Again, we're kind of bailing out of Sherbet Island halfway through the challenges, but this is where things are going to start to get kind of interesting. First though, we have to finish the last Taj challenge, and that is in the plane. Now this one could be pretty tricky. Any bonks in the plane are pretty punishing. You often get knocked backwards, and you lose all your speed and you lose all your altitude. So, you know, a typical mistake in the plane can cost you 5 seconds. But so far this is pretty good. Oof, that was pretty close. Alright, so we finished with a 56, high 56, which, you know, not too mad at that. Could be much, much worse, that's for sure. Alright, so now we're going to be heading back to Dino Domain, and we are going to be doing that trophy race that I was telling you about earlier. But we're not going to finish it. We're going to do something a little different. So, in the last track of this trophy race, Tub Volcano, there is a loading zone underneath the finish line out of bounds. And if you happen to go into that loading zone on the last track of the trophy race, it will interrupt the trophy race and take you out of the trophy race and spit you out somewhere in the overworld. There's 3 possible locations. You can spawn in Dragon Forest in either the car or the plane, or you will spawn on the Taj mat in the overworld. And so what I can then do is, if I go into any other world and complete a race there, the game will think that I'm completing the 4th race of the trophy, and will then assign me a trophy. But it only looks at the place that you were last in. So if I go to another world and finish the 4th race there, then it will assign me the trophy for that world and not Dino Domain. And this is helpful for us because the tracks in Dino Domain are much, much shorter than all the other tracks in the game, pretty much. So doing the Dino Trophy instead of the Snowflake Trophy or the Sherbet Trophy, like, you're saving so much more time by starting the Dino Trophy and then just warping out. So that's going to come up in one race. We do need to finish Jungle Falls here first. I'm going to use the shield here to protect myself. Like I said, CPUs can get in the way, you can sometimes get shot there. It's happened to me many times, so if you grab the shield there, you shouldn't have to worry about getting hit. It's a strategy we use pretty often in this run. Alright, so now we're going to do the warp. So there's the loading zone, and we warp to Dragon Forest in the car. So now we're gonna go complete our trophy race somewhere else, and I'm actually gonna go to Sherbet Island. And this is where things are gonna get really weird. We're actually not gonna do a race. We're going to go to the minigame, and we're gonna complete the minigame. And this is one of the more difficult ones. There's a pretty crazy strat here. I'm gonna try and get it. Okay, this looks pretty good. Nice, we got the double hit on Diddy. And we're good. Alright. So all of that was basically scripted. I did a very precise set of movements so that the CPUs would react pretty much the same generally every time. And so yeah, we just didn't miss all our rocket shots and got it done. But now we're going back into the minigame, and I'm going to intentionally lose. Now this, finishing that, losing the minigame, the game thinks that that was the fourth one. Now, you might be wondering, well, how come when you won, it didn't think that was the fourth race? And the reason for that is because the medallion cutscene takes precedence over the trophy. So you go in, you win, you get your piece of the TT amulet, and then you go back and you lose, and that counts as the fourth and last race of the trophy. And because I finished the trophy in Sherbet Island, then it gives me the trophy for Sherbet Island and not Dino Domain. And so we're going to be basically rinsing and repeating that process for all of the trophies in the game. So now we're back in Sherbet Island. We were literally just here. And now we're going to be finishing up the coins. They need to get out of my way. Oh. Talk about a good example of having the CPUs in your way. Alright, but we got the cutscene skip. Most important part. So for Private Lagoon here, I'm going to try and get all the coins on the first lap. And I'm also going to try and finish the lap with 10 bananas, which is pretty easy. There's quite a few in your path. There we go, we got 10. And 2 more coins here. And now we're just free to race. Okay. Ooh, that was a nice clip. I'm gonna go and grab that balloon because someone in front of me just stole it. Ooh. Okay. That was a little scary, but got through there. And we got the skip. Very nice. Alright. So what is this? Crescent Island. So there's kind of some diverging paths here, so we can't get all the coins on the first lap. We can get all but 2. So we're gonna get most of them on the first lap. And we're also gonna collect our bananas. We got 10 there, so we're maxed out. Alright, and the last 2 coins are actually right here. So now we're free to race. Got 1 more lap. The CPUs are going to be coming up here. We need to do our best to avoid them. Okay, it was possible I could have got shot there, but glad that didn't happen. And another skip, which is good. And now we are off to Whale Bay. Which is the last regular track of this world. We didn't get blocked by the CPUs on that very first coin and zipper, so that was nice. Sometimes they block you outright and you can't even get like any of them. Alright. So there's one sneaky coin here. I've been taking the ship the whole time, but you can actually go around the ship. But the last coin is right here. We're actually just going to drop right on top of it. Ooh, I think I should have got that zipper, but I did not. Alright, tough cutscene skip here. Oh, we buffered it, which is actually really difficult to do because there's a lot of lag at the end of the finish line there. If I don't get the cutscene skip the first time, I can try and buffer it, but it can be inconsistent from track to track depending on the amount of lag at the end of the finish line there. So there's some tracks where, like, when I buffer, I double tap the start button really fast, but for Whale Bay, you kind of have to, like, press it not so fast because there's a lot of lag. So it takes a while for the game to register the first start button. Yeah, so the bottom line is it's good. We got lucky that we got that one, so it's good. We still only missed 1 cutscene skip, which is pretty good. Alright, so this is Butler 2, and as you can see, he's upgraded from the mines to the bubbles. And the bubbles are really bad. If you get stuck, you come to a complete stop, you float in the air for like 3 seconds, and it's pretty bad. Hopefully that doesn't happen this run, but sometimes it happens. And once again, after this race is over, I'm going to reset the console. I'm not sure if I mentioned, but I reset the console here is because there's a group of cutscenes that come after, and I don't really need to watch them because I'm actually going to be leaving this area when I'm done. So it's better to just reset the console, and then when I go back into my file, I'll already be outside in the overworld. Alright, so I'm going to switch to the plane here because we are going to do another warp, and we will be going to Snowflake Mountain, which can only be accessed by the plane. So we just make sure that we're ready for that by switching to the plane there. And as you can see, the Dino Trophy isn't there. So if you didn't trust me, the trophy is in Sherbet. So we're going to be doing the same thing again here. This time, we are going to go to Snowflake. Alright, that was a high 36, which is not terrible, but in my runs I would probably be looking for a little bit better, like maybe a 35, a high 35. We haven't really had a perfect canyonless yet this run, so let's try and get a really good canyonless. Alright, that was pretty good. Oh, no sub 1, but 100 is pretty good. I average about a 101, so whenever I get below 101, I'm generally pretty happy. Wow, 35. It's pretty good for Jungle Falls. Alright, so now we're going to be doing our second run warp. And we get Overworld, which is actually really good RNG because Snowflake Mountain is right here. This is about a 10% chance, so wow, really great RNG. And like we did in Sherbet Island, we're going to go to the minigame and do the exact same thing. And just like that, plan all came together. So again, another sort of scripted mini game. You know, if you do the same set of movements then the CPUs should all converge at the top there, and it all worked out, so it's pretty good. So now we're going to turn around. And this time we're going to intentionally lose the minigame, and by now you should know what happens. We will get our trophy. Alright, so now we are coming up onto probably one of the toughest segments in the run for me, anyway. This race in particular coming up is very difficult. We've got a difficult track, but not only that, the coins are not really placed in a nice fashion at all. That beginning part is actually probably the toughest, and I'm really glad that that went well. Alright. We actually, you want to try and grab that coin without hitting the water, and we kind of did hit the water, but we didn't lose too much speed, so not bad. And the last coin here is in that corner. You want to be careful not to touch the wall there, because you can like easily just get stuck in the wall and lose all your speed. Alright, so pretty clean. You just need to stay out of the way of these CPUs. Oh, wow. That buffer is actually really hard too. Very similar to Whale Bay. There's a lot of lag at the line there. And to be honest, that actually went really well. I've been grinding 100% a lot lately, and they often don't go that well, so pleasantly surprised. Okay, kind of a bummer I missed that balloon, but we still carried a lot of speed out of that corner, so it's not too bad. Okay, somehow missed the zipper there. So we got one more coin left. It's kind of in a weird spot right here. Doesn't really make it easy to grab it and still speed through this race. But just gotta live with it. Alright, so this is Airfrost Peak with the Silver Coin Challenge. Gonna pick up some coins here, and then now it's pretty much business as usual. So we picked up all but one. The last one is actually on top of that arch that we flew under the first time. Not this one, but the next one. There we go. And so far this is actually pretty good pace. Nice. Really good.
Walrus Cove.
Alright, so Walrus Cove, again, has some coins in some very precarious spots. So I'm gonna intentionally slow down and grab this coin, but I'm also gonna grab these bananas. And then there's 2 coins on the right side of the track here, which we typically don't see. But we grabbed those and got those out of the way, so now we can go back to taking our usual route. There's a coin off to the right there, and we're gonna get that on the last lap because there's CPUs that converge there on the last lap, so it's kind of best, in my opinion, to just like speed through while you have the space and slow down to get coins when there's other people around and you kind of have to slow down for them. Also, that was really unfortunate. Conquer kind of made me take a really like maybe cut that turn a little short. Alright, nice. Alright, so now we got Bluey 2. And this one is not as good as Bluey 1, because they nerfed this track quite a bit. I think there was like 4 or 5 blue balloons in the first one, and on this one there's only 2. So can't go as fast, which is kind of a bummer. Oh, we need that balloon. And we get a nice little love tap from the snowball. Alright, and we reset the console. Alright, so Dino is done, except for the trophy. Sherbet and Snowflake Mountain are done. So we're not going to be coming back to those. So the next order of business is we need to get our Dino trophy. And I'm not going to switch vehicles this time because after we get the Dino trophy, we're going to be heading towards Dragon Forest. And if you remember, when we run warp, there's 3 locations. 2 of them are in Dragon Forest, and 1 is in the overworld. And we already got overworld, and I told you it was 10%, which means that I have a 90% chance of ending up where I ultimately want to go. So no need to switch vehicles. We're going to play the odds and just hope that we end up in Dragon Forest when we warp there. Now, I have gotten overworld warp on when warping for Dragon Forest on numerous occasions, and it's not fun. But hopefully that doesn't happen here.
Fossil Canyon.
So that was kind of unfortunate. Looked like we had a bad angle off the slope, and we just kind of like curved right into the wall, which happens sometimes, unfortunately. And we're not going to get canyonless on the last lap. Ooh! Almost landed right on the oil slick. That would have been very on brand for me. So we finished with a 106, which is not very good. That's about a 5-second time loss. Alright, so we are not going to do the warp this time. We are going to finish Tata Volcano because we do need that dino trophy. So we're going to collect some bananas. And then we're going to get out of bounds here. And you guys have seen this before. Just gonna make our way from end to end. Ooh, I can't see. Alright, so I don't need to go back in bounds because I'm not too concerned about cuts and skips. So I'm just going to finish it out of bounds. And we have our dino trophy. For real, this time. Alright, so we're going to go back into the trophy race. And, you guys should know what's going on by now. Oof. All right. 38 Ancient Lake, not great, but what can you do? Let's hope for a better Fossil Canyon this time, though. 106 is pretty rough. Let's maybe aim for that 101. Or sub 1 would be nice too. Okay, this is looking good. It should be an 18. 1873, yeah, that's pretty good. No, it's gonna be a 100. Better than a 106, that's for sure. Use my shield here. Oh! Pipsy, I'm so sorry. You got absolutely destroyed. But unfortunately, I did lose a little speed from that. Alright, so now we are going to do the warp. We need to go to Dragon Forest. So we have a 90% chance, roughly, of landing there. So let's see what we get. And it's Dragon Forest in the car, which is not too bad. Alright, so we've never been here before, we don't have the key, and even if we did have the key, we don't want to do the mini game because it's a different type, and that would take actually forever to lose. So we're just going to do the shortest track, and that is Haunted Woods. Oh, that was my mistake. Alright, one more lap. Let's hope we don't get in the way of the CPUs, and actually no, we're pretty good, although we did miss that zipper. It's kind of unfortunate. Oof, the end of this was pretty rough. Alright, so now we have our Dragon Forest trophy. And now this is where the run gets pretty good, in my opinion. I mean, not that the stuff that came before that is boring, but this is where we kind of kick it up a notch. We're going to start with Windmill Plains. And this is a track that is... it has an out-of-bounds clip and is considered to be one of the hardest in the game. So, let's see if we can get it. And we are out. So now, this is not like Tata Volcano. This is actually much more complicated than that. The checkpoints... we kind of have to drive around in a set pattern here to get all the checkpoints, and we also can't go too low, otherwise we run the risk of voiding out and starting back at the starting line, which is really bad. So we gotta be careful here. Oh, and also that can happen. You can just go back in bounds. Luckily, we're towards the end, so it's not a huge deal. Okay. Lost a little bit of time there, but yeah, so that stretch there can be pretty dicey. But we got through most of it relatively unscathed. This is Greenwood Village. Pretty fun track in my opinion. I think this track is one of the hardest tracks for casual players. Maybe because of this S-turn here, but if you get the drifting down, it's pretty easy. Alright, pretty good pace here. Dang, we missed the balloon. That's kind of unfortunate. And we need to get the skip here. Alright, good stuff. Now we are on to Boulder Canyon. And this track has the last key we need to get in the game. And it's in a pretty dumb spot. We'll get it probably on the second lap, so I'll show you that. Alright, so we're gonna get the key here. We're gonna get this blue balloon and then we're gonna turn around and hit this bell. And that raises the drawbridge, and what do you know, key is right there. But that key's hitbox is actually kind of finicky, so you can like get stuck up there and like be constantly turning back and forth trying to grab it, and like you just won't pick it up. Or you can like get caught on the bridge somehow. Like, I mean, I can't really explain it, but there's just like, there's multiple ways the bridge can like mess you up. So it is honestly not as easy as I made it look. Alright. So, pretty good. And now we're going to go back to Haunted Woods, and we need to get our balloon from there, because if you remember, the last time we did it was for the trophy race.
Haunted Woods.
Alright. Okay, don't like all these people in my face. Oh dear. If I'm being honest, Haunted Woods is not one of my best tracks. Okay, let's. Oh, okay. I was literally just gonna say let's not hit a wall, but couldn't even get it out before hitting a wall. We got the cutscene skip. Whatever, it's fine. All right. So now we are on to Smokey the Dragon, the boss for this world, and this is a pretty important boss race too. And the reason for that is because last year, on April Fool's Day, another very talented runner, Sweener Dog, found a out of bounds clip in this track. So we're gonna try and get out of bounds here. Oh! Help. Okay. So we're gonna grab this and we're gonna turn around. And we are out. Actually, with one of the cleanest clips I think I've ever seen in my life. Now this one has a pretty simple flight pattern, which is nice. I'm just gonna fly here till I see the lap come up. I'm gonna fly towards this pillar, turn a little bit, go into the corner, and just turn around. And that's it. Now when I finish here, I'm not going to reset the console because I am not finished with Dragon Forest. We need to do the minigame and we need to do the coin challenges, so I'm not going to reset the console. I'm just going to watch this cutscene. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to Smoky Castle, which is the minigame for this world. And we'll see how that shakes down.
Find 8 from each level and win. Then come back and see me.
Alright, so Smoky Castle is right here. And in this minigame, we need to collect 10 bananas and bring them back. But the catch is, you can only carry 2 at a time. So this is going to be our first 2 here, and we need to do this pretty quickly. Because we need to beat a CPU. who can potentially shoot us here. Alright, so Bumper there, who we just passed. If you're slow, he will shoot you with a rocket and you will drop your bananas. So it's important that you do the first set fast enough so that you avoid getting hit. Alright, so far so good. We got one more set after this. Alright. Really clean. Really clean Smoky Castle. So now we start our coin races. And the first one up is Windmill Plains again, and you guys already saw the out of bounds, one of the toughest in the game, and now we're adding the extra challenge of getting these silver coins. So we kind of have a unique strategy here. I'm gonna get about half of them, and then I'm gonna try going out of bounds. Okay. So we are out of bounds. This is good. And now we're gonna try and stay out of bounds until the middle of the third lap. I lost all my speed, so I cannot barrel roll. Okay. So we don't want to go back in bounds here, that'd be pretty bad. Okay, but we do want to go back in bounds here. So I'm going to hit this checkpoint here, and then I'm going to start heading towards back in bounds, and we're going to go in where this coin is. We got two more. One right there. Oh, wow. Kind of got offline a little bit there, but it's okay. We got skip. Alright.
Greenwood Village.
So Windmill Plains is obviously a pretty nerve-wracking part of the run, because at top levels of this game, you obviously want to get that. I missed that coin somehow. There's a neat little tunnel there. I don't know what the purpose of that tunnel is, because it's definitely not faster to go there, but they hit a coin there, so you will see the tunnel because of that. Right. One more coin here. Dang. Oh, there was a mine there. I didn't even see it until it was too late. Okay. Well, let's try and get the skip here. Dang. But you know what? Only missing 2 cuts and skips by this stage is kind of insane. It's really good. In fact, no one has ever had a run where they've gotten all 40 cuts and skips. The best anyone has ever done is 39 out of 40, and that was done by 2 people. Myself and a runner by the name of This Is Gazanaluk. Also, I don't know how I missed that coin. Alright, so there's a coin over there. We're going to save that for later. I want these bananas, more importantly, so that I can go faster. I'm also going to get that coin on the last lap. And unfortunately we have to get this coin again, because somehow I missed it. There we go. Okay, I thought I was going to miss that coin, so I was a little concerned, but the wall helped us out. Oof. Okay, almost got shot there. That would have been pretty bad. Oh no! We just clipped the wall just a little bit, and sent us into the divider there. Alright.
Haunted Woods.
We got one last track here in Dragon Forest. Haunted Woods coins. Constantly getting beat out on this turn here. There's 2 more bananas I could have collected, but those CPUs getting in the way, I told you. Alright. There's 2 more coins left. I'm gonna get those. Oh my gosh, man, this turn is not going well today. We're gonna get them on the last lap because CPUs are there, and like I said, it's better to just speed through areas where there's 0 traffic and pick up the coins you're forced to slow down for when there's CPUs in the way. Okay. That's super nice. Alright. Getting shot is always kind of funny. Alright, so this is Smokey 2. Which means we have to go for the out of bounds trick again.
You can beat me again. I'll give you a special.
We got really lucky with the first one. We had a beautiful clip on the first one, actually. But now we gotta try and do it again. Oh my gosh, I actually clipped the ground. Alright. Please let me get out. Oh. Thank you, game. Alright. We are in business. Alright, so after we finish this race, we are going to reset the console. We are done with Dragon Forest. There's nothing left to do here. So instead of watching the cutscene skips and leaving, we're just going to reset the console. And we are now on the home stretch. We have our first showdown with Wizpig coming up, and then we are off to the final world, Future Funland. And then we are done. Alright, so Wizpig is kind of another nerve-wracking part of the run. The race is super laggy because it has this heavy rain effect on the screen, so it makes navigating very difficult. There's also these like pools of water all around, and it's possible to get trapped in one of the pools and like having to turn around and go back to get on the track. If that happens, it's obviously very devastating. You can lose a ton of time. And, yeah, so we're gonna try not to do that. We're gonna try to have a clean race. So you don't want to get caught on the right there. That'd be bad. That's no man's land. You don't want to get caught on the left. That is also no man's land. Alright, so first lap. Not bad. Even 25. Could be better. But you know what? I'll take it. Ooh, this lap is pretty good. Is that 23? Low 23 is really good. Alright, one more lap. Please be good to me. Oof. So nice. This is going to be a 111. Low 111. Alright, so I'm going to reset the console again there. After beating WizPig, you get some mock credits. And I don't want to watch that, so we're just going to reset the console. The game saves as soon as WizPig throws his tantrum, so we just reset when that cutscene starts, and we are on our way. So now, like I said before, we are off to Future Funland. And Future Funland is a very, very, very crucial part of the run. We got some of the toughest tracks. Lots of tricks coming up. So it has the potential to ruin your run. This is where great runs go to die. But we're going to try and get through it the best we can. So, one of the most important parts about this world has to do with the cutscene skips. And there is no interim boss after you do the balloon races here. There's only WizPig, the second version, and it's after you do both the balloon races and the coin races. But after you complete the balloon race, the coin race becomes locked behind another balloon door, and you're not able to access it until you finish all the balloon races. But it was found, I believe by DKR Patty, that if you perform a cutscene skip and you restart the race instead of exiting the lobby, then you will immediately be spit into the coin race. And this is very helpful because it cuts down on a lot of overworld movement. So even now more than ever, cutscene skips in Future Funland are incredibly important. So here we are, just speeding along. This is Spaceless Alley, probably considered one of the hardest tracks in the run. There's lots of things that can go wrong, and when they do go wrong, there's often not a backup to really save you, so you just kind of have to take it on the chin. Let's try and get this cutscene skip. And I restarted I exited the lobby. Wow, that is a mistake I have not done in a long time. Oh boy. Alright, well, we only saved about 6 out of the 12 seconds we could have saved, but oh well. I feel stupid now, but these mistakes happen. I was talking, I was slightly distracted. Anyways, this is Darkening Caverns. A very technical card track, I find. There's a lot of, you know, winding turns, you know, some sharp corners, and lots of obstacles to avoid, like these craters. So it can be difficult. Ooh, that was a nice turn there. Unfortunately missed the balloon. Alright, now typically we're going to see some traps here left by the CPUs. Let's hope we can avoid them. Don't make a liar out of me. Don't make a liar out of me. Okay, there's one there. Nope, two there. Alright. Generally, they're at the very, very beginning of the line, but they all congregated there. Ooh, so much lag. Holy moly. Okay, so let's try and get this skip so I can show you what I'm talking about. There we go. We're gonna restart the race this time. And now we get to do the coins. So Darkening Caverns becomes a one-stop shop. We don't have to come back to this track again. Alright, so Darkening Caverns coins can actually be kind of dangerous. I mean, more so than other coin races for the fact that there's 2 coins in front of both of those loops. Now, okay, don't really know what happened there. Let's say you missed one of those coins before the loop on all 3 laps. You pretty much have to restart the race, because once you go through a loop, you cannot go backwards. So it is very important that you get both those coins, but you also want to go fast, and you don't want to play things super ultra safe. So it has happened that people have had to restart this race, and it pretty much kills your run, because it's, you know, presumably you've already gone through 3 laps of this, which is about, you know, 1 minute and 30 seconds, and you have to restart and do it all over again. So it could certainly spell disaster, but no problems today. And now we're gonna leave, and we're gonna go back to, you guessed it, down to Maine. And I'm sure you could probably guess why we're coming back here.
Down to Maine.
We gotta get that Future Funland trophy.
Ancient Lake.
Alright, so you guys have all seen this before many times by this point, so I'm just going to try to go fast.
Fossil Canyon.
Let's get a good Fossil Canyon. Maybe a sub 1. Oh, it doesn't look like we're gonna get the sub 1 here, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, Crunch. Alright, 104. Ooh, this is a little wide. Yeah, 1341. Yeah, that's because I went a little wide on that turn. Ooh, no shields. Okay, we almost touched someone who had a shield, and that would have been really bad. If you touch someone with a shield, then it will cause you to spin out.
Tub Volcano.
Alright, last warp of the run. Maybe a little overwarp again? That'd be nice, although it is a 10% chance. Dragon Car. This one is the most likely. It's about an 80% chance. So, can't say I'm terribly surprised, but it's okay. Future Funland is right here. And you might be wondering why did I choose that time to go to Dino Domain and start the trophy race? Well, that's because this track is the shortest in Future Funland. And I'll show you why in just a second. So there's a hole in the ceiling. And we're able to just slip out and get out of bounds here. Now this trick is exclusive to the Japanese version. And it's one of the reasons why we typically run on this version. There's also another reason is because of the different warp RNG that you can get, which unfortunately I don't think I explained. But this is a pretty big reason why. It saves quite a bit of time if you can get it down. And we're actually going to be doing this presumably 2 more times because we need to do the balloon and the coin race. Hopefully we can do them back to back. Ooh, I do not like this angle. Okay. Let's try it again. And as far as out of bounds tracks go, this one's like, it's not too bad. I would say this one's definitely easier than Windmill Plains, but maybe slightly harder than Tata Volcano. Alright, so now we gotta try and get this cutscene skip. I've been having some issues with this one lately. There we go. We're gonna restart the race, and now we gotta do the coins. And just like Windmill Plains, we got a similar strategy here. I'm gonna get about half the coins, and then I'm gonna try going out of bounds. So I'm gonna go out of bounds here. A lot of lag there, but you know, we're out of bounds, which is the most important part. And we're gonna do about a lap and a half here. I wasn't even paying attention. Did I get the checkpoint there? Oh boy. Alright. So now, this part's kind of dicey. I tend to go a little hard compared to other runners. I'm gonna pick up this balloon here, hit the zipper, grab that coin, and then whew, turn very sharp into that coin at the top of the tunnel there, and we're good. Nice. Alright, so we got 3 races left. This is Star City. And this truck's pretty cool. It's got like a nice little city section with a bunch of, you know, right-angled turns. But it's also got that bridge. And if you fall off the bridge, then you could be in a world of trouble, because depending on where you fall off the bridge, the only way to get back on the bridge is at the very beginning here. So if you fell off like right here, you'd have to drive all the way back to the start of the bridge. Oh, got him. That's good placement on the CPU's part. Right in my line. Alright. Got one more restart left to hit. Very important. Don't want to miss another restart. Although I would have liked that other balloon. Okay. We got it. Alright, I'm not gonna get that coin just yet. I'm gonna wait until I have a better angle on it. Also, I should have grabbed that balloon. I think that was pretty mean of the game to not get the balloon there. That coin is a little scary. Okay, I'm gonna go for it here. That's what you want to do. You want to grab the coin, and you want to also drift into the zipper there. Good lap. Drumstick, please. Ooh, that was my fault. Alright. We started with Spaceless Alley, and we are going to end with Spaceless Alley. This is the last race before the final boss. This run, anyway. I mean, in an ideal world, we'd be finished with Star City, but we had to do it stupid and select the wrong menu item, but that's okay. So there's one coin right here. I'm going to keep that for last, because I want the blue balloon, because it makes you go faster. Last coin is on this side. Okay. Okay. It's pretty good. Don't want to get shot down there, that would be really bad. Dang. Alright. You know what though? How many cutscene skips we missed? We missed 3? 3 cutscene skips. Out of 40. And they are frame perfect tricks, so pretty good. Pretty good. Alright, so this is WizPig 2. This is the final boss. And, of course there's an out of bounds trick, right? So, we're gonna try and get that. Alright, we are out of bounds. And now, I'm going to fly to that pillar, and then I'm going to fly in the middle of these boulders. And then I'm looking at the map here, trying to line myself up here. And just rinse and repeat. Pillar, boulders. And then just looking at the map here, you want to be on the left side of this path. And we are almost done. Alright. So yeah, that's Diddy Kong Racing 100%. Actually a great run. We had some good RNG and some good execution. I did say we'd be doing this in about an hour and 52 minutes, and obviously that is just factoring in the possibility for tough RNG, and we didn't get it here, but especially on like the tricky boss races, it's possible to lose like a minute there. So yeah. So I'm not gonna keep you very much longer. Whether you checked out this video just to get some more info on the run, or whether you're vetting for an event, I appreciate you watching and taking the time to check this out. And yeah, thank you so much.